Hello everybody. I can see Angela and Cindy are here with me already. Thanks for joining me. If you would just give me a thumbs up or some love or say hello and let me know that you could hear me, that would be wonderful. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I've just running in the door and had to get my camera set up properly. So hopefully everything is working as it should. Just going to wait a second to get your comments so I know that you can hear me. Hope everybody had a great day. I had a busy one this morning. I did a workshop and we actually did some Halloween design, so that was really, really fun. And today we're going to switch gears just a little bit. There, I can see I'm getting some love. Thank you so much. So I am going to be working on an ink project tonight. And I'm always a little nervous about using inks myself because I'm a little bit messy and I can't help it. I just get my hands in the inks and the paste and I kind of like to wear my creations, but I think it'll be okay. Let me see if I can adjust this just a smidge. There, bear with me. Okay, so what we are working with tonight is a transfer called Looking Sharp. And this is our Club Couture transfer of the month. So I'm looking at myself in my camera and it looks backwards to me. So I want to make sure that you guys are seeing it so that it's not. If I put it down here. All right, I'm going to switch my screen up a little bit. There. Picture in picture. All right, move those. Let's see. How's that look? I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer for you. My goodness. Having technical difficulties. I'm just going to move my camera just a minute. Sorry, I was rushing to get in here tonight and wasn't quite ready, I guess. There we go. That looks backwards too. I don't know why. Okay, so this is called Looking Sharp, and it is the August Club Couture Transfer. Maybe this way. There, that looks correct. Okay, so I'm getting my act together, y'all. Promise. There we go. That's good. So what I'm putting this project on is a little tiny baseball t-shirt that I picked up at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I think I'm going to make this for my grandson. He is starting preschool in a couple of weeks. And he's just a doll. He's the sweetest little guy. And this actually, I'm not quite sure if this is going to fit his brother who's starting kindergarten, but I'm thinking it's going to be for the youngest one. So I'm going to adjust my light a little bit. There's a huge shadow right where I'm working. It's crazy because I have an overhead light. Yeah, it's not helping much either, is it? All right, we're going to do our best. That is so funny because I can't see it, but I can see it in my screen. All right, so before you get started working with ink, you want to be sure that you have something in between the top layer of your t-shirt and the bottom layer. And this is true if you're doing any kind of fabric like a pillow or an apron. You want to have something underneath the project so that your ink isn't bleeding through onto whatever behind it. In this case, it would be the back part of the t-shirt. So what I'm going to do, normally I would be using an ink mat from Chalkology Paste. It looks like this, and essentially it's a large piece of plastic that's very sticky, and that will first of all keep your ink from bleeding from the front to the back, but because it's sticky it will also hold everything in place so that your t-shirt's not shifting around while you're working on it. So we have two sizes of these, but I only have the large size, so I'm improvising a little bit, and this might be something you can do as well. Let me see. I don't know why everything's looking a little wonky tonight. So what I'm going to be using is actually a Cricut mat that I've used for scrapbooking for a long, long time. I have a pile of these, and over time they lose their stickiness and they're really hard to work with, and you have to buy a new one. So this is one that I've kept, and I sprayed it with a spray adhesive, so it's very sticky again. And I'm going to use this inside of my t-shirt to protect it protect it from bleeding, and also to hold everything steady. So I'm just going to insert this in between the layers if I can. It's really sticky. And kind of get that in the center. I think I cut this to about 8 inches because this is a pretty tiny t-shirt. And you could also do this with onesies, or you could just buy an ink mat and do it that way. The proper way, right? But hey, this is Yankee ingenuity. So I think I've got that in the right spot. Just gonna smooth it out and make sure it's pretty tightly stuck to the mat below it. So when I first saw this transfer, I thought it was a porcupine, but it's actually a hedgehog. There aren't too many hedgehogs in Massachusetts unless they're in a pet store, I guess. But I think it's pretty cute, and I did happen to notice that there are lots of these in the stores. So talk about being on trend. And this is a Club Couture transfer, which means that if you are a member of Club Couture, it is something that is shipped to you every single month without fail. And it's automatically billed and shipped, and you don't have to think about it. But when you get this really fun little package in the mail, you can make something super cute, beautiful, or, you know, we've had all different kinds of transfers, and this one's really kind of whimsical, and I think it's really, really, really fun. So I'm just cutting this apart on the lines. And normally what I would do first before I attached it to my surface is something called fuzzing. And what fuzzing does is it picks up a little bit of lint so the back of the transfer isn't quite so sticky, and it'll peel off your surfaces easier. Because we're doing this on fabric, there's no need to fuzz it. So we're going to eliminate that step altogether. Okay, so that is all cut. And as you know, I like to mark my pieces. I always write on the back sides of my transfers. So I'm going to write hedgehog body on this one. Also my initials. And then I'm going to write hedgehog. I'm going to write, hedgehog face. My initial. And this one is the cheeks and eyes. My initials, and then looking sharp. Okay, so if you watch any of my videos before, you're going to know that the reason that you would mark your transfers, the most important reason, is so that when you have washed and dried your transfer and would like to use it again, you can dry it and put it back on your carrier sheet to keep it nice and safe until the next time you use it. The back side of the transfer is not very slippery. The side that's attached to the transfer, the sticky side, is very slick. I can't even get this one off. And it feels sort of like the backing of a sticker. So it's reusable. You can stick it right back on there. It's much easier to remove and put back on if you're using the slick side rather than the dull side. So writing on the back reminds you not to stick it to the dull side. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the body. And I think I'm going to put that about there in his little face. Kind of center that. See where that ear goes. Right about there. I'm going to go up a little higher on this one. And then I'm going to put the words looking sharp on the bottom. So I think this will be a really cute kind of back to school shirt for him. So I'm going to remove the transfer. And the easiest way that I found to do that is just kind of roll your finger or thumb along the top edge of your transfer and peel it off. And we're going to place that in on the surface, my little t-shirt here. I'm just going to make sure my spacing is okay again. About there. So I need to move just a smidge that way. Just a smidge. Okay, Angela and Cindy, how are you doing tonight? Make sure that's down nice and tight. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit closer to the camera because I want you to see these little marks right here. There's one there and there's also one here. Those are registration marks, and they're going to help you line up your layers a lot easier than if you were trying to just do it visually, just by placing the transfer on top. So because I'm working on fabric, I'm going to put a piece of painter's tape underneath here. And you'll see why in just a minute. If I was doing this on a chalkboard or something that I could wash off, it's not quite, I wouldn't be using the tape. You would just chalk over those little openings so that you would know that you were in the proper place. That's nice. Okay. So the next layer that I'm going to do will be the face, and all I have to do is line up that little mark with this little mark and the one on the bottom too, and it should be perfect. So far so good? Where is everybody tonight? Okay. So my thoughts are, I think I'm going to do his body in gray with a little bit of black added in and a shimmery kind of copper colored face. Now these jars are not new jars, they are old 2-ounce jars. We do not sell these anymore, but we of course have a color gray. I think it's called Storm. We have black velvet, and we have copper, gold, silver, and red shimmer. The shimmer has just a little tiny bit of sparkle to it. It's not like glittery, but it just has just a touch of very, very fine glitter to make it look really nice. So I'm going to stir these up. I have not used these in a very long time, and I'm going to try my best not to get ink on my fingers, because you know what will happen, it'll be on your shirts. So, okay, so you're just going to do the same. Oh my gosh, I'm really impressed. I've had this for like 2 years, and it is still beautiful. And you're going to apply the ink the same way that you do with the chalk. You smooth it on with a squeegee, scrape off the excess. The only difference that you're going to notice is it's very smooth feeling. It goes on a little bit smoother, and it also takes a little bit longer to dry. And that's kind of a good thing, especially if you have a hard time working quickly like I sometimes do. So let me get that on the screen where you can see. Make sure that's good and tight. We don't want to have any bleeds. But as I was saying, I was thinking about doing a little bit of like black tips on the ends of the hedgehog's hair. So I'm going to stir that black up too and see what we can do to make that pop a little bit. Okay, let me get my stirring sticks out. I get nervous the more ink I have around my white shirt. So, oh, this is silky. It's beautiful. All right, I love it. Okay, you ready? All right, we're going to start with the gray, and I have a squeegee here, and I'm going to a little squeegee here for the black as well. Fit in the jar. It is. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna, I did the wrong color. I was going to do a mostly gray, right? Guys, you got to tell me these things. Help. Get a new squeegee. All right, let's start with the gray this time. Grab some of that gray on my squeegee, and I'm just going to smooth it all over the design. Oh, this goes on so nice. So nice. I'm going to leave that just a little bit thicker and push it into the fabric. Okay. All right, let's see if this is going to work. I've got my black here. And I'm going to go just over the tips of where his little spikes are. See how that looks. I hate to jinx myself, but I have not gotten any ink anywhere other than on the shirt where I want it yet. It's all good. All is well. All right. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference, but I think it's kind of cool. Okay, let me cover up that ink so it is safe from my fingers getting mixed up in it. Okay, are you guys members of the Chalk Club? Cindy, you probably are. Angela, pretty sure you get that transfer every month. All right, those are good to go. I'm going to check. See, I do have some stuff on my fingers. So I'm going to clean them up before I pull that. And again, it does take a little bit longer to dry than our chalk, so I don't have to worry about working extremely quickly. Get that off there. I also need something to put this on. Put that there. Okay. So I'm going to peel. Oh, you know what I didn't do? The registration marks. Just grab a little bit of that. That was the whole point of having them, right? So there's one right there. There's one right there. Good. Did it again. It's going to be sloppy tonight. All right, let's get this ink off my fingers. I think I've got it. Okay, here we go. Peel this off. See what this little guy looks like. Super cute. Kind of looks like he has a mohawk. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so I'm going to get my dryer out, and just for a minute, I'm going to dry this up. I don't blow too much off the table. Okay, that should be pretty good. So now the next part that we're going to do is this little face. And now we'll go right about there. So we're just going to peel that. And I'm going to try to use those little registration marks if I can see them. They're super tiny on this blue. And they're hard to see anyway. If I had done them in white, it would have been a bit easier to see, but I kind of can see where it goes anyway. That's pretty good, and so is that. Okay, and I have to move the tape out now because it's underneath his face, so it's good to go. Right. You guys are so quiet tonight. Talk to me. So the hedgehog's face I'm going to do in this copper color. I think that'll look kind of cool and boyish, I suppose. Just making sure that, yep, just making sure the mat covered right under the whole thing. Let's grab our shimmer. And a stir stick. Did I lose them? I blew them off the table. Alright, it looks pretty good, so I don't think I even need to stir it. So I'm going to grab a squeegee, make sure this is down nice and tight. And we are going to just smooth a little bit of that shimmer over his face. Cute. I don't know. Do you guys know anybody who has a pet hedgehog? I don't think they're like really soft animals. I think they'd be a little hard to like snuggle with. I don't know. Don't know that much about them, I guess. See, I have 3 people watching, so the third one, whoever you are, say hello. And I'm going to peel that transfer off. Yeah, he's kind of cute. Yep, I got a little bit right there. How did that happen? That's all right. We'll put something on top of it. All right, I'm going to dry this up a little bit. should be about good. And the next layer we're going to do are his cheeks and his eyes. Is that his eye? Oh, his nose. It's his nose. Okay, I get it now. All right. Hello, Miss Angela. Nice to see you tonight. I was running late. I feel like I'm kind of like out of sort a little bit here. That right about there. And we're just going to need a tiny little bit of red for those areas, his cheeks and his nose. And then my plan is to put Looking Sharp in underneath here. Maybe I can even get that on that little tiny smear that I did. Isn't that something? I was so careful too. It's okay. It's all good. You won't even notice. Okay, so I'm using the red. Again, this jar I've had for about 2 years, not a little less. I haven't been a designer for quite that long, but so I can't really have had it for that long, right? So I'm just going to use our little multi-tool for this. It's just a tiny little area, a little bit of a star. And get his nose and his cheek. And done. Rolling around here. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, we'll peel that one off. Aw, it's kind of cute. What do you think? I love it. I think I would wear a hedgehog, would you? Oh. I don't know where this stuff comes from, but it's all over me. Just gonna wet my hand a little bit and get that red ink off. I think I got it from the lid. To be super careful when you're using this ink. Okay. So I don't need to dry. I don't think I need to dry that, do I? Yep, I do. Need to dry his nose and his cheek so that I can do Looking Sharp next. Pretty quick project, huh? So I'm going to do the Looking Sharp in red. I think that'll be a nice contrast with the black on the sleeves. And it matches his cute little cheeks too. Let's see, how low do I want to go? That looks about centered. There we go. Looking sharp. It looks like I might have covered that little tiny speck of copper that I had on the fabric. All right, back to that red. Let's see if I can do this without getting it on my hands again. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to use this one again. And spread it over. Don't you guys love how easy this is to work with? Chalks and inks, both. Super easy. I'm just scraping off the excess, putting that back into the jar for another project. We are almost done. So Club Couture, in case you wondered, is $19.99 a month. You get a B-size design transfer, and you get 3 chalk paste packets every month. You also get a PDF and video instructions on how to use the transfer that you got. It's really cute. It's pretty cute, you guys. I like it. I think it's pretty cute. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this dry. I'll hit it with the dryer in just a couple minutes, but when it's all nice and dry, you'll take out the mat that goes in between, and you're going to put a piece of parchment paper, Personally, I don't own any parchment paper, so I use computer paper. Put a piece of paper on top of your design and iron it on medium-high heat for about 4 minutes on each side, and then it is good to go. You can wash it, dry it, wear it, and you won't have to worry about your design washing off. So that is how you use our inks. As you can see, it is just as easy as using our chalk. The only difference is you just got to be super careful that you don't get it on your hands, or you can get it on your shirt. But guess what? We covered it up perfectly. That is all I have for you tonight. I'm just going to pop my my information up for just a minute. If you are not a member of my VIP group, you might want to join that because I do specials in there every now and then. If you're interested in becoming a designer and getting paid to craft like I do, write the word join in the comments and I'll get some information out to you. And if you are interested in joining Club Couture, if you can also write Club Couture in the comments, I will get that information to you as well. Thank you so much for visiting with me tonight. This is a pretty quick project, but thought it would be fun to show you how to use our inks. So hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night. Bye-bye.